So in this video, what we're going to be discussing is to actually create a resume which actually works for you to get shortlisted and to be ATS compliant. If your resume looks something like this, right? So it looks fancy, it looks pretty interesting. I mean, if this was maybe 2010, this resume would be pretty interesting to present. But what we need to understand is that this, if we were to put it in an ATS system, what are the details it will capture? So I've taken one resume of one of our student, right? So I'm not going to show you the exact details of that student for privacy reasons, but what I'll show you is if I were to copy this entire details, right? So I'm just copying this and put it into a text edit. If in case you're using a Mac or if you're using Notepad, then just put it in a Notepad and then see after converting it into plain text. So just copy this and convert the format into plain text. So basically what you're trying to do by converting into a plain text is to see what does it capture and see what the problem is of this resume itself, right? So leaving aside the name, and I'll just remove all the numbers out here so that you cannot see that. It starts with adaptability, recruitment, follow-up. It has no order because now ATS is trying to first find out what is the name of the candidate, what is the email ID, what is the phone number, but now it has directly got into the strengths of the candidate, right? Now that is the problem of that we want to fix, right, in our resume. We do not necessarily want to create a resume which is not showing us the truth. So if our experience and our qualifications and skills are not matching to any job profile, no matter what kind of a resume I create, it will never get shortlisted. But if there is a job profile in which my experience matches, my education matches, then if I want to get shortlisted and there should be no reason for us to get rejected for no reason, then I will show you step by step by converting my own resume, right? Taking a real example of a job description, and so that this is something that you can implement from your next job application, right? So if you see my screen, I have a job description out here which is on equity research, and just because it's in equity research doesn't mean that it is only for equity research, but it can be also for digital marketing, it can also be for FP&A. The process is something that you want to focus on, right? So this is the job description of CRISIL. Of course, it requires only 2 years of experience, and my CV is obviously overqualified for that. But still, in all the other aspects, what we will try to do is we'll try to make sure that the CV that we create is ATS compliant for the best results in terms of getting shortlisted, right? So first advice is that just create an Excel with all your relevant details always available, so that we can reuse it for different kinds of resume, and do not use the same resume for every kind of a position, right? Because you do not know what if, for example, you might be an equity research analyst, but if the job is for financial planning analysis or financial analyst, do not use the same resume, because then again ATS compliance will not happen, right? Because the keywords will not get shortlisted. So put all your details in one place, right? So I've done that here. And now let's move into a blank Excel. So let's take a plain blank Excel and start with the first name, right? Just put a plain name. That should be the start of your resume. So I've written my name and if you have any of these qualifications like CFA, then just put it. And in the next line, what you want to do is, first of all, write your location, which is going to be, let's say for me, it's going to be Pune, and the country, right? So because ATS will capture it this way, and then put a small bracket with your, let's say, the contact number, which is going to be a country code with the main phone number, followed by email ID, right? Do not use email IDs which probably are not professional. This is not for ATS but for general purpose, right? And then eventually what you want to do is put your LinkedIn profile. Do not put the entire LinkedIn URL. Instead, write LinkedIn and then put a hyperlink, right? So this is where, if you put the details in one Excel, it becomes handy. So I have put in here and I pasted it out here, right? So now let's move on into the second part. So in the next line, what I'm going to write, right? So after I've written the basic details, right, now I can just put my quick summary, right? Now here, again, go according to the job description. So job description is for equity research, right? you have your own experience, so you can use, this is where you can use ChatGPT to tell ChatGPT to create a summary according to a certain job description. So put in the job description, and based on your profile, try to create a sum. Do not create anything fake, because again, if do not get shortlisted only if your experience actually does not match, right? So I've created this for myself, right? And I'll just put this size into 10.5. Anything apart from a heading should be lower than 10.5, right? So this is my quick summary of the profile that I'm presenting to the company, right? Now, in the next line, what I want to write is first is the core skills. Again, put the heading at around 12, right? So that ATS understands that this is your heading, and then quickly also look at the various skills which are required for this job. So if you look at this job, we can see financial modeling, equity research, sell side, and financial analysis is the skill which is required. So we can tell ChatGPT to just make a code of all the relevant skills which might be relevant for this job that I'm applying for. So I copy this, right, and I go to core skills and I paste this, right? Again, ensuring that I reduce the font size to around 12.5. So my core skills are done. Now we come to the experience part, right? So now the experience part, you want to start with the name of the company, right? So I'm going to write a hypothetical name, and in the next line, preferably in the next line, what you want to, or in the same line also you can do it. So we can write the time duration where I was working. So I can, and here again the advice is to put the exact date. Okay, do not put October 23 or using some month and year format, because again you want the ATS to work itself completely by using the entire date, right? To present. So you can put a hyphen there and just write till present. So there you go, that's your experience heading. And in the next line, this is where you want to use again the job description that we have. So the job description states that the job is for equity research, right? Now, if I have done equity research at my previous job, only then I want to actually write that as equity research. Else, if I've not done equity research, then probably it's not even a good idea to actually apply it, right? So since I have done equity research here, so I'm going to write here as equity research analyst, put a hyphen there, a bracket here, and I'm going to write here as research lead, whatever my designation was there in that company, right? Again, I want to make sure that this heading is at around 12.5, because this is my main headings under which is the role which is going to be mentioned, right? Then we can put the roles and responsibilities. Again, the roles and responsibilities should be put according to the job description that I'm applying for. So if you look at the job description, right, the roles and responsibilities, you can find it out here. And again, use ChatGPT to summarize this. You put your own experience also and tell ChatGPT to summarize this according to this JD for the roles and responsibilities to be mentioned in your resume. So I've done that here, so you can take this as an example. So I have taken, this is my roles and responsibilities which has been summarized by ChatGPT. Right? I'm just copy this and paste this, right? And we're just going to quickly format this a little bit so that this becomes a little more simpler to understand, right? So there you go. And put everything should be under bullets, no using of lines or structures which probably will be hampering the entire ATS to actually pick up the data, right? So that's my roles and responsibilities. Now we move into education. Again, education and certification, that's your heading, right? So I'm just going to keep it as education certifications. And again, here also there are a few tips that I would like to give you, which frequently students make mistakes. For example, do not put your education of class 11th and class 12th, because it really doesn't matter, right? Put your first order has to be the highest qualification. So for in my case, I'll write the fact that I've done CFA. So I'm just going to write CFA charter holder, and on the bracket I can say awarded during, let's say, 2014. Whatever the real data is, right? And make sure that this again goes to 10.5 as the font size. And then I can put my secondary education, which is bachelor's in business administration, and make sure here that once you are writing bachelor's in business administration, you want to put finance specialization specifically, because there might be, you are basically giving an indication to the ATS, which is trying to extract this data, that this guy is relevant for finance. Right? So I've done finance specialization. And then if you want, you can also mention the exact name of the university, right? Do not write old university. For example, Pune University is no more known as Pune University. It is known as Savitribai Phule University, right? So you want to make sure that you put the current name, because it will try to find the databases of the various universities which you will mention. And if it does not turn out, then again it goes as blank, right? So we don't want to be in that situation where ATS turns out a lot of blank filters, right? So now here is where you need to be a little careful with education. For example, I've done LLP in addition to all of these qualifications, but LLB is not relevant for this role. So in order to reduce the noise for ATS, my recommendation is that you put separate additional certifications or qualifications, and there you can mention your additional qualifications if you have done any. So I'm gonna write here as Bachelor's of Law, right? And also mention the exact name of the university that I've done it from, right? So this is my university, and I'll just remove that and put it into 10.5, which is already in 10.5. Great. So this is my additional certifications. And finally, any research publications that I've done. So again, if you are a fresher, then you want to mention the various projects, but again, make sure that the projects are only put the projects which are relevant to this job profile. I mean, if you are applying for equity research and if you've done a sales market research, then probably it won't make sense and it could be much negative for your application, right? So research and publications, if there are any, so I'll just mention some of them. If you have done real research, then you can use ChatGPT to again summarize it according to this job description specifically that we're applying, right? So I've done this here, so I'll just copy this. And if you are an experienced candidate and have actually done any coverage of any company, then again take the help of any AI systems to basically summarize this, because there will be some keywords which you might not be able to remember, and it's just a lot of hard work, unnecessary hard work. So it's better to just use a lot of AI. So these are the places where you can actually use AI systems, right, where it makes sense. But I've frequently seen a lot of candidates make the entire CV using AI systems, which won't work, because you're not giving any context to the AI system on what are the things to remember, right? So that's how exactly your resume should actually look like. If you had any other experiences, you could put. And just notice something very strange out here. This does not look very interesting, but when I will copy this and if I paste this into ChatGPT and I actually show you the ATS compliance, in fact, we'll do this test, right? So I'll just take this exact CV and I'll put it in my ChatGPT and I'll tell ChatGPT to actually run ATS compliance, right? So let's see what the result actually it throws up. So let's just paste this out here and let's tell ChatGPT to run ATS compliance. Okay, so let's see what the ChatGPT actually throws up, right? So these are the places where you can actually use ATS. So it directly gives us a score of 82 over 100, right? And the best part is, see what the order of information that it is trying to extract, right? So that's how you want to get nice. Now out here also, see, it has given us some minor improvements on the formatting for the various like your address and your phone number and an email ID. But mostly, if you see, the final recommendation is that this professional resume is 82 by 100, and that's a pretty strong optimization score that you can actually target for, right? Anything beyond this is optional, but considering the job profile and that you have the same experience, this is more than enough, right? Now what you want to avoid is things like, putting your full address. You do not want to do that because that will go negative. Because again, ATS compliant systems, they follow privacy rules. So they will just take it as blank, right? You do not want to put date of birth. You do not want to put hobbies. You do not want to put, books that you've read. All these things are irrelevant for the job profile. So be very specific, and if you follow these rules, then probably in the next application that you're doing, at least because of your resume format, you will not get rejected. So if you like this video, do subscribe, and I will put a exact template and a checklist which you can use for your next resume that you create, right? And I'll see you again with another tutorial in the next video. Bye bye.